Hey everyone, it's the Angry Honey Badger here. It is time for us to take a look at another quick build today. We are going to be taking a look at Zed. That's who won last time in the voting. It's actually close between him and Urgot, but I think actually Urgot's currently getting a rework, so we might actually just ignore him for a second anyways. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at Zed today. We're going to also vote on these videos a little bit differently for the next quick build. There actually is a link in the description to a straw poll, and there's champions in there that I choose that you then get to vote for. So there's a handful in there. That way we can actually get a little love out to a few of the older champions that I maybe haven't actually made a build for. And yeah, that way it'll work out really, really nicely too. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So don't be afraid to go vote on that poll. So go do that. Other than that, though, let's go ahead and take a look at Zed by starting off with his runes and his masteries. As for Zed's runes, what I like to go with is Armor Penetration Marks, Armor Seals, Magic Resist per level glyphs, and then Attack Damage Quintessences. As for that Masteries page, I bust out the AD top or mid page. Typically, though, we will be taking him to the mid lane because that's just kind of his natural stomping ground. But what we're going to do there is take a 21-9-0 page, 21 in the offensive tree, get us everything on that side that helps us with damage and everything good there. A little bit in the defense to help us out, just negate a little bit of damage while laning and while fighting. As for Zed's abilities, at level 1, we'll be putting a point into our Razor Shuriken, which is our Q ability. We will be maxing this out first as well. At level 2, though, we put a point into our Living Shadows. We will be maxing this out last. And then at level 3, we put a point into our Shadow Slash, which is our E ability, and we will be maxing this out second because this also gives us damage. So we're maxing out our damage skills first. And then at levels 6, 11, and 16, we put a point into our Death Mark because that is our ultimate. We want to kill people. As for the items I like to take when I'm playing as Zed, at level 1, there's actually a few choices you could totally get away with here. Just kind of depends on what you are going up against in lane and kind of depends on what you're comfortable with. You can go ahead and take a Doran Shield in the pot if you want to do that. It's a pretty good start, especially if you're going to be exchanging those standard attacks with the enemy that you are currently laning against. That way you'll negate some of that and you'll get some good health regen. If you just want to take boots in a bunch of pots, it's not a terrible idea. You got a lot of pots then if you're going to be soaking up damage. And then also movement speed, always good for getting away. And then your longsword and pot option is what I typically go with. That way I can get to my first few items a little bit quicker and start stomping faces into the dirt faster. So what we're going to do when building those is try to get a Brutalizer, a Bilgewater Cutlass, and usually I try to finish off my boots because the tenacity is pretty good with those Merc Treads because against those mid laners, most of them, if they're AP, probably going to go after these. Good item. And those are kind of our first few trips back. That's the items we really want to shoot for. What we will be building with this stuff, though, of course, is core item-wise, the Black Cleaver, the Blade of the Ruined King, and then the Last Whisper actually rounds out all that stuff fairly well. The good damage and penetration on that. So a full build may look something like this. You will have your Merc Treads, you're going to have your Blade of the Ruined King, your Black Cleaver, your Last Whisper, and then in a perfect world, if they have both attack damage and magic damage on the enemy team and you need to just stay alive and survive yet still deal damage, you're going to need or want a Randuin's Omen, good for the health and the armor, very helpful, and the passive, passive and active, both helpful for you when assassinating people. And then the Mercurial Scimitar, a lot of attack damage and good magic resist. Also, if you get caught out, that Quicksilver Sash built into it is really, really handy for escaping, so it helps him out greatly as an assassin. That is what you typically do in a perfect world, though if you want more damage or if they don't have one of those two offenses on their team for some crazy reason, there's a few options to the build you can totally go with. What we could do is pick up a Bloodthirster for even more damage for just annihilating people even faster. Or if you want to take the Trinity Force, it's actually not terrible on him. It works out all right. A little bit different, though. Tactics change a tiny bit, but it's actually a decent item on him. And then also, if you just want something different than those last two items and you want to go ahead and come back to life, Guardian Angel, never a terrible idea. It totally helps him out. But yeah, this is the current build or some of the items I would totally go for on Zed. If you just saw my Zed build video, that is dated, and there wasn't Blade of the Ruined King or Black Cleaver back when I made that build. So it's quite different than this one if you're wondering. So go ahead and try these out. This will definitely help you out when you are playing as Zed. Thanks for checking out the video. Don't forget to like it and subscribe if you are not. But other than that, I'll just see all of you guys in the next video. So we get Vision. They were going to turn it around, which would have been smart of them. He's going to go ahead and take out Misfortune. I'm going to go